Woo! Home is best! Hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. So, in the last part, we had a little bit of peace made between Ao and Masaki, and Yuki ran away screaming. Except maybe not the screaming part. And in this part, we're reading the epilogue. So, what is it, cousin? Yuki walked into the kitchen and pulled out a milk carton from the refrigerator. But you were at home the whole time. Don't you find it meaningless to state the obvious? Yeah, you're right. I decided just to agree with her and save myself from further debate. The girls had left and everything had returned to normal again. Mom was asleep now after tiring herself out from playing video games until she got calluses on her fingers. She must not be very used to playing video games if she just got calluses on her fingers after like one night. Wasn't that fun? I thought so too on the most part, but something stopped me from agreeing wholeheartedly. Do you want me to make some tea for you? I thought Nuki would say yes immediately, so I was surprised when there was no response. Nuki? Are you making that offer because you want some too? No, I'm asking because I thought you'd want some. Ooh, you're too sweet. Touch net. Nuki spiked down on my head, it sent me flying again. I landed on the cold hard floor of the roof at school. Ow! My bruises hurt, but it wasn't as bad as yesterday's. The number of people that had chased me around school was gradually decreasing as the days went by. Maybe they'd given up on trying to impress Ao, or they'd gotten over the fad. Maybe both, I pondered as I lay on the floor. I turned my head to look at the ground. The sakura petals were gone now. The season was changing. The afternoon classes were about to start. I noticed another thing. I was beginning to get physically tougher from all this. I knew you liked being on the receiving end of things, you sucker for punishment. Will you stop standing over my head? I can see your underwear. I'm giving you a free show, Al laughed. I turned my head sideways to protect our dignity. She stepped away, annoyed. I sat up. I was slightly giddy from the beating. They're starting to acknowledge us. The relationship between me and Al. Maybe I'll get stabbed at some point. That wasn't a happy image. It wasn't a happy image. Neither of us talked about that night. We both knew that it was our secret. Some things are best kept away because the slightest mention of the memory would break its beauty. Masaki, are you alright? I've come to your rescue. Yuki, you always come in at the wrong time. Yuki looked as if she'd been slapped. Somehow, I thought she reacted that way for a different reason. Yuki's so cute when she turns red. Don't you think so too, Masaki? I rushed out to cup Yuki's cheek and then slid her hand downwards her neck. What are you doing? Yuki twisted her body away from Ao. I'm just appreciating you. I find it unbelievable when you say things like that with a straight face. Masaki, get up. I'd forgotten I was still on the floor. I got up. My feet were steady now. Will you stop harassing Yuki, please? She's uncomfortable with it. Just playing. In a sexual way. I have a question, Yuki spoke up. Why do you keep touching me? Sane and Mizuho are around too, but you don't do anything to them. Don't I make it obvious enough? I made a look of disbelief, but then settled on a pout. I was treating you the exact same way I treat Masaki. The way you treat Masaki? You mean... Understanding dawned on Yuki's face, and her voice trailed off in a tremble. That means... Ao nodded, satisfied we had got the message. Gender's not a problem. I don't discriminate. I can love anybody. Yuki and I froze. Don't you think it would be lovely if I could have both of you in my possession? Yuki clung on to me for protection. Masaki, what am I supposed to do? I wouldn't know. I was hanging on to her too. Ha ha! Al laughed happily as if she didn't have a care in the world. A strong wind blew by. Our typhoon in April would still last a while. And that's it. Alright, next time, Combat in May. That was a pretty short epilogue. I think the last epilogue was pretty short too, but anyway. I hope you all enjoyed that. My name is Dragonite. And in the next part, Combat in May. I will see you all later.